Hello and welcome to Ace Designs 107. I'm the Ace in the card pack and you're the kings and queens. Today what I have for you guys is a tutorial in Photoshop on showing you how to manipulate a burning card, and it's going to be really cool. But before I get started, make sure you go down to the description below. I've put together a pack for all the stocks that you can use to remake this effect for free, and yeah, so make sure you like the video because I'm providing you with this stuff. It's taken some time to put together this tutorial, and it'll give me motivation to continue going on with my channel. Now, thank you with all the support that I've been getting on my channel. It's really been great, and I just want to say you guys have been doing really good on my channel, and I really do appreciate it. You know, all the support does count, and really it motivates me to make more videos. So let me show how my channel is going. And I just surpassed 400,000 views. That's a lot of people, so thank you so much. So let's get started. So I'm going to press Ctrl N on my keyboard to make a new document, and for the width I'm going to make it 1920, and the height's going to be 1080p, and make sure it's in pixels, and under resolution I'm going to change it from 72 to 300. Now from the background contents, I'm going to do a background color, which is going to be black. I'm going to press OK. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up my rounded rectangle tool, and for this I'm going to have a radius of 40, and I'm going to hold shift, and I'm just going to drag out a card, then let go of shift to make it a card shape. And then with this color I'm going to fill it in with 363636. It's going to be this color, 3B, 3B, and I'm going to press OK. And I'm going to close that. So I'm going to probably drag it a little bit bigger like that. Okay, so I'm going to center this card shape by pressing Ctrl A on my keyboard to select the document, then press V on my keyboard, and press second and fifth icon up on my toolbar. I'm going to press Ctrl D to deselect that. Okay, so the next step of the tutorial is to go down to the pack that I provided in the description below, and I'm going to go down to the paper texture group, and I'm going to press the visible icon, press V on my keyboard, and drag it onto my new document. I'm going to press Ctrl T and then press Ctrl 0, and then I'm going to hold shift and resize this right down just so it's just above my card. Okay, so I'm going to press Ctrl Shift Enter and then press Ctrl Shift 0 to zoom back in, and then I'm going to right click and do create clipping mask. Okay, for this one I'm going to rename my card shape to card base, and I'm going to rename this texture to paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to press Ctrl U on my keyboard, and I'm going to change the hue around -39 or -46. Saturation is going to go right down to like -49, and the lightness is going to go up to 47. So we should have something like this. It's going to look a bit more real paper, you know, more card texture. And feel free to go to Google and find your own type of card texture if the one that I provide in the description you're not liking, but whatever suits you will be fine. Okay, so the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to drag in the little symbols. So we're going to go down to the pack that I provided in the description below, and you're going to go under the group and you're going to grab up the ace symbol. Now you're going to press V on your keyboard to grab up the move tool and move it onto your document. Then you could press Ctrl T on your keyboard, then resize it right down, something like this, by holding shift and drag it into your corners. Press Ctrl Shift Enter, and then press Ctrl J, press Ctrl T, and hold shift and drag it across. And then press Ctrl Shift Enter, and then press Ctrl E. Then what you're going to do is you're going to press Ctrl J, press Ctrl T, right click, and do flip vertically, and then hold shift and drag it right down. So as you could see, I utilized the shortcuts when I was doing all those transforming and merging those layers. It's really good that you utilize your shortcuts in Photoshop. It really speeds up production. And really guys, I just eyeballed these positions for these. However, you can use the alignment tool and some guides to guide your processes a bit more accurately. Then I'm going to press Ctrl E, and I'm going to rename this layer to card symbols. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my custom shape tool, and I'm going to grab up this shape, and I'm going to hold shift and drag it out, and then I'm going to press Ctrl A on my keyboard, press V, and I'm going to center it. And that's going to center that shape in the middle of the document, and because of our card centered in the document, that's going to center it in the middle of the card. Now I'm going to rename the shape to middle symbol, press enter, and then I'm going to go down to the pack that I've provided in the description, and I'm going to go down to the card pattern group, and I'm going to pick one of these patterns. I'm going to press Ctrl plus a little bit to zoom in, and then press M on my keyboard to grab the rectangular marquee tool, and then I'm going to select around my shape that I want to use, press Ctrl X, make sure that our layer is selected, press Ctrl V to paste that, and then press V on our keyboard and move that little cutout to our new document. Then I'm going to press Ctrl plus a little time, and then I'm going to press W on my keyboard to grab the wand tool, then click once, select, press delete, and I'm going to do that so the layer is totally transparent. And you might have to go into the little details, but that's fine. It's just a tutorial for it. And as you can see, when I'm selecting, I'm pressing Ctrl D to deselect so I can make more selections. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl 0 again to zoom right back out, press Ctrl T, hold shift and resize that down so it's holding the scale, and I'm going to hold shift always, and I'm just going to center it somewhere like that. Okay, so the next part of the tutorial is I'm going to press Ctrl J, press Ctrl T, right click, and then do flip vertically, and then drag it right down again. And I'm just going to eyeball the position, and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift Enter to finish that selection. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl E again, and I'm going to double click on the layers, and I'm going to do symbols, or you can just do top. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make the lines on my cards. So I'm going to grab up a line tool, and with this one I'm going to just simply drag from here, hold shift and drag out a line, press Ctrl T and just change the thickness of that line a little bit, not too thick, not too thin, just something that we can see the card. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, that'll help me get a small, more accurate thing, and then press enter. And then I'm going to zoom out again and then press Ctrl T and just use my arrow keys. It's really hard to move a line with your move tool, so just use your arrow keys. Hopefully your card isn't too large and it's not going to take you 10 million years either. But I didn't press Ctrl J on that, so press Ctrl J and then use your arrow keys with Ctrl T. And as you guys can see, I'm using Ctrl T, Ctrl E, Ctrl J a lot, and Ctrl Shift Enter. It just prevents me from pressing buttons. I'm pretty lazy. Then I'm going to press Ctrl Shift Enter again. Okay. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press, I'm going to change the fill of these to 3B, 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 and I can just go under my recent colors because I filled in my symbols also. So I'm going to fill in my corner symbols, which is going to be, I named a car, I need corner. And I'm going to fill these in also. Can shift click those, fill those in that color, and I'm going to do the same for the lines. So I'm going to press the line tool, grab up the line tool. Okay, and I'm also going to do the same for the middle shape. So under the middle symbol, I'm going to go to most recent colors, and I'm going to right click and do rasterlize layer. And then for the top symbols, I'm also going to do by control clicking the thumbnail and zooming right in, grabbing my paint bucket tool and just filling these in. Now obviously you don't have to fill it in with this color, but I think a grey works a lot better than a black. Printers when they printing cards, they don't print like a really thick black. They usually print like something less strong than a black. So I like to give it like that kind of worn feeling, and because of the card has been burnt, it really adds to all of that total effect. And obviously I'm not going to be totally accurate. You want to be pretty accurate with yours if you're going to be using this for like a final product, or if you're going to be using it for a logo or something like that. It'd be a pretty cool logo actually, so You guys want to be accurate if you're going to be doing it for anything final, and yeah, you should always strive to do the best work you can, just like you'll strive to do like the best assignment you could probably do for your teacher, you know. It always helps you try to become a better designer and try to push your limits, I guess. Press Ctrl D on those, press Ctrl 0 and to zoom back out. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add in the burn effect, but before we do that, we're going to grab our texture, so we're going to layer this. So we're going to go down to the background group, I'm going to click invisible, press V on our keyboard, and just move that on. So this is a really nice texture that I found for you guys. And what you have to do is you have to press M on your keyboard, select around this wallpaper.com, whatever, and then go fill, content aware, press OK, and then filled it in and you got rid of it. Yes, it's distorted that a little bit, but no one's going to really look at the corners of the wallpaper, it's fine. And then you're going to move this wallpaper right down to the bottom layer, and you're going to change the mode to like an overlay or something like that. Or you could just simply go to normal and then change the opacity right down to like 36 or 40. And then with your card, what you're going to do is you can group this, or you can just simply press Ctrl E if you're happy with your card. And then you're going to press Ctrl T and then do right click and do perspective. And we're going to slant this card to the corner a bit. Forgot how I did this. I think I dragged like one of these corners down. Like, so sorry guys. So just right click perspective, drag out one of these corners. Okay, and I also dragged out this. Something like that, and then it looks like it's tilted, and that's correct, it is tilting, and I did a little bit different on this one, but it's fine. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl T and just resize this a little bit down, and make sure that's centered on document by press Ctrl A, V, second and fifth icon. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add in the fire. So this is where it gets a bit tricky because it's really hard to make the fire blend in. So you can go down to the pack that I've provided, and under the fire you're going to just first of all grab one flame, press V and move it on, press Ctrl T and just flip it a bunch of times, get something that you like. I guess something like this. Okay, so with this one I'm going to press Ctrl 0 and then right click and do wrap, if it's gonna let me. Because I bring the group, I'm an idiot. I mean to bring the layer, sorry guys, just bring the layer in. Okay, right click and do flip horizontal. This guy's probably sitting there and you're just like, what the f. Anyway, so I'm gonna move that on to like something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift Enter on that one, and I've got my flame already. Now you might see some of these lines, just press E on your keyboard to grab the eraser tool and something like this. Okay, so with the eraser tool settings, I'm going to do the size of it 157 and hard as 0, and I'm going to just use that for all my settings. Okay, so with this I'm going to do around the edges, something like that, and it's not going to be too strong because if I want to do this one with a little bit of like you can see the symbols this time. Okay, so I've got something like that now, and then I'm going to do the same with the other flames. So I'm going to grab up a different flame, and I've provided you quite a lot of flames that you could use, so don't be afraid to use all of them in your design, because for the preview I did, and even then it didn't look like that well. So, and make sure you're using the wrap a lot. Don't over wrap it, because then it will just look fake, like the fire won't look like it's actually real. So something like that, but I'm probably not going to use this one. Maybe this one. Yeah, this one should be good. This one's massive though, and you can even see like the wood in that, so it's pretty good PNG. And to get rid of that wooden stuff, I probably don't want it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to like a screen, whatever. and that should get rid of some of it, and if not, that's fine. Pretty chilled with this tutorial, I'm not really hyperactive or whatever, so okay, so with this, I'm just gonna grab my razor tool and raise some of that bit out. Something like that, and I'm gonna press Ctrl E a couple of times. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Change this back to normal. Not dissolve, normal. Okay, something like that should work. Okay, so I'm also gonna add in some more stocks, obviously, because of it has to look like it's done at least with some effort, you know. It's a tutorial. And the point of these daily uploads is not to get more content over quality, because of this is gonna be the exact same video if I make it or not. Like, if I want to do like a manipulation tutorial on this card, it's going to be exactly the same, because I'm recording this on the holidays. If you don't notice, like, it's the 8th, so I'm recording this while my school's not on, so it's going to be the exact same quality if I do it or not. So don't say, oh, he's just trying to go over quality or quantity. That's definitely not what I want to do for you guys. I want to just create, I just want to provide you guys with content that you can do, and a lot of tutorials, you know, because my channel's been really doing well when I've started uploading quite regularly, so I want to continue that. So, and as you can see, like, the fire is pretty random. I can't really teach you this, and a lot of people like ask me, oh, why do you just like try to skip like the boring parts? It's because of I can't really teach you that. Like, it's something that it's your own personal preference, and I just want to kind of like get that out of the way, you know. Put something too strong there. This bottom part, I'm just gonna simply rotate it, just something like that, and then move it on. And obviously, this doesn't look real at all. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down to my card layer, and I'm going to take out some of the edges with the razor tool. What this will do is it will look like it's been burnt off little bit, and give that irregularity, you know, kind of thing with it. And then it's really hard to like show you like this one. That's a good like side, how I did like see how this side really did well. I don't know, like that, I guess. And obviously you can hear my mouse just furiously clicking, so because if I'm not using a tablet with this tutorial, so something like that, I guess. And when you do it with both sides, it kind of evens out, and you really get to see the effect. And it helps if the card's on like a more of an angle. So as you can see with this one, it doesn't really work, but with this one it does. So what we're going to do is we're going to spice things up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my card layer. I'm going to blending options. With this one, I'm going to do inner shadow. And with this inner shadow, I'm going to change the size like this. And you can do the distance, something like that. The opacity, something like that. Something really soft. And you can also do a stroke if you would like. And you can change the opacity, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm also going to probably add in like a drop shadow and just do it like that. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all these fires together, and I'm going to rename these fire. And this is just a tutorial, so make sure you do it more accurately in yours. I can't really teach you this, guys. Like, this is it, and yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to merge these together, but before I do that, I'm going to right click here and then do a hue saturation over the whole thing, and I'm going to add in some settings for these fires. So I'm going to drag in like a -8 settings, and I'm going to make these look a bit more purplish, like a bit more interesting flames, because that really catches the eye of the actual effect. If you don't know it, like if you do some really unusual colors, it should really distract the eye from the shitty effect that you've done, which I'm trying to do now. So with this card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group it with the fire, press Ctrl J, press Ctrl T, and then do perspective. and I should be able to give this thing a bit of more. I'm really like terrible with this perspective tool. Something like that. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so as you can see, that effect got a lot better, just because of I just switched it on the perspective, and you've got something different on. And now actually that's looking much better, so make sure you've got a really good perspective going on. Okay, so now with this, I'm gonna probably add in like a tint, like you can see on this wallpaper. So what I'm gonna do is, with this wallpaper, I'm gonna make a new layer, grab my brush tool and change the size probably around 400, really large, and then I'm gonna pick like a color that I used here, and then I'm just simply gonna paint over this whole thing, and then I'm gonna change it to color, and then I'm gonna change the opacity of this layer to like 45 or something like that. And what I'm also going to do is you can add in some flames, and I've realized that this looks pretty cool. So you can add in some flames on the corners, like that, and do like this, press Ctrl J, flip vertically, like that. And it just adds to that overall effect, if you know what I mean, and can get something really cool with this, just like that. And then I might add in another flame just for some variety, something like this. And because of it's all under that, and you could like kind of blend it in, I guess, or you could put like a stack of wood under this, and it could look like the card's burning under the wood. Might flip that vertically, something like that. Okay. Something like this we've got going on now, and you could merge all these together, and you could just simply name all these layers fire, like background fire, and now that's all on one layer, and you've got something organized here. Okay, so thank you so much for watching the tutorial. I think I overdid the erasing of there, so just be wareful that you have to cut down on the erasing a little bit, something like this a little bit more, to make it a little bit more better. But I think I did the highlights a little bit better in this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial. I'm getting better at manipulation. I will definitely come back with a better tutorial next week, manipulation. And the next tutorial will be on, let me look, daily uploads. It's going to be on a text effect, and text effect is one of my strongest parts in Photoshop, so it's going to be something really cool. It's probably not going to be in Photoshop, maybe in Cinema 4D, maybe in After Effects, any text effect, anything relating to text. So text is definitely my strongest point in graphics design, so I'll definitely have a really good tutorial. So make sure you tune back in. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Leave some feedback on the comments. I really do love interacting with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, peace.